Welcome everyone to another Classy Tech TV review. Today we're looking at the Samsung Q80B. This is an interesting model that kind of falls in their upper mid-range. It is considered part of their QLED line. It does not have a VA panel like the higher-end QN90 series, and it does not have mini LED backlighting, but it does have full array local dimming. And it uses an ADS, which is an IPS type panel. So we will go into picture performance and everything about this. I did have a previous video with the unboxing and setup that goes into the build and design of the TV and things like that, so you can check that video. There will be a link in the description below. And I also did a settings video for this TV you'll find down there as well. Moving on about the TV itself, so this is a higher sales volume model for Samsung. It's the first model in the lineup that starts to check more of the boxes that people are looking for when buying a upper tier or above mid-level TV, though it is certainly not without its shortcomings, and we're going to cover all of that. So this is a TV that has a lot of features, but picture quality does take a pretty big back seat. We will go through some charts in a few minutes, but let's start with the first thing a lot of people consider when buying an LCD-based TV, and that is the blooming. How's the local dimming work? So I'm going to throw on a scene here with black bars that gets really bright. Overall, the blooming per se isn't that bad, but because it's an ADS panel, the black levels are not that great. So while there is some visible blooming, it's when the zones are off, they don't really get that dark to begin with, so it's not as distracting. Now if we go to this scene, you can see the motion. There's really not much to complain about with the motion. It's pretty typical Samsung, not great, not bad either. Now when we come to shadowy scenes, you do see lifted shadows. It is a bit distracting. This is where ADS or IPS panels falter. Going into SDR and trying to look at detail, there is some smoothing going on and some denoise that's already being forced, even though the setting is off. So there is some minor fine detail that gets erased. But let's listen to how the speakers sound.
That's enough. We'll start fresh tomorrow.
I could do it.
You need rest. Anything else will have diminishing returns.
Sir Laszlo, he protected me in Sintra, and he said less than perfect means death.
Your stomach's growling loud enough to wake the dead. If that counts.
Hunger makes for good sauce.
Also makes for shitty lunches.
Now I did have to darken that footage to avoid copyright with such a long clip. However, the audio on this is actually quite good. I would recommend not bothering with a soundbar unless you're going really high-end, because it would sound pretty much as good as any entry to mid-level soundbar. Moving on from that, we're going to start looking at gaming now. And for the most part, unless you're coming from an OLED or a flagship model, I think most people are going to be plenty satisfied with the gaming experience that the Q80B has. There's definitely some better options in this price bracket. However, if you can get past it having not the greatest black levels and overly lifted shadows, it's not that bad. So the ghosting or inverse ghosting really isn't much of an issue. Input lag is very low. It does support 4K 120 Hz. It has 4 HDMI 2.1 ports, all at 48 gigabits per second. So it really does check a lot of the gaming features boxes that people are looking for. The biggest weakness for it really is just the overall contrast, as well as the, again, black levels and shadows being just a little bit too bright. So it can have a little bit of a washed out look. But if you're coming from playing on, say, an IPS monitor or something on PC, then this would be a nice upgrade from that, and you would think that the black levels are pretty good. However, if you do have even an older Samsung VA panel, like I have a KS8000, which doesn't have full array local dimming, but it was VA, and this is 6 years newer and the 8 series, so you would think that it would be better, and while it has newer, better features, the image quality is not better. So that is something to keep in mind. So getting into the numbers, the contrast ratio with using local dimming is only in the mid 6000s, which is pretty low for something with local dimming. Here's the measurements at different window sizes. We see 500 full field and under 800 in smaller windows. Using real content, highlights are going to stick between 600 and 700 nits if it's a lower APL scene, and between 400 and 500 nits for a higher APL scene. Looking at the color gamut in BT 2020, you get 66 or 67% coverage. That is not very high. This is what the EOTF tracking looks like in the filmmaker mode, so it is lifted, and the colors themselves are fairly undersaturated out of the box in HDR. Now, the biggest issue that we need to talk about with this being a Samsung is the firmware updates. So I got it with 1310 firmware and tested it, and then updated to 1430 and retested, and the changes were significant. So this is how the gamma was in SDR game mode, and while it's not great, it wasn't terrible. After the update, it turned to this, which is a complete mess, and you can't fix it. It's what I would consider at this point broken. And then look at these colors now with the 1430, 5.6 average, and nearly all the skin tones are around an RF6, so this is very visibly off. Everything's way off. But if we go into HDR, at least HDR is not too bad. The tracking for EOTF is okay, although the roll-off as you get in the upper end is pretty bad. And this is for filmmaker, and then this one is for game mode. That firmware just really ruined the SDR game mode, so that's something to keep in mind. And most of the firmware updates from last year were constantly changing picture quality on Samsung TVs, so from one to the next you don't know what's going to happen, what's going to break, what they're going to change. So that is definitely something that you should think about if you're interested in buying not just this but any Samsung TV. With all of that said, this is the kind of model that the average person just goes into a store, sees it, it's very bright and not very expensive. They just buy it and they don't really know, or they don't think about it. So it's like the people who typically watch my channel, this is not going to be a TV for them. For the average person though, if they bought it and then they're just starting to look online a little bit about it, like if you like it, you like it. Again, there's great features here, and it's just some of the picture quality issues that would concern an enthusiast, but not so much the general average person. That's pretty much going to be it for the Samsung Q80B. For the money, I would say look at the Sony X90K or the LG QNED85 instead, but that's it. So thank you all for watching. I hope this helps you out, and I will catch you in the next one. Have a good one.